Welcome to another episode of Business Bros. I'm a loner today. Well, as far as the bros are concerned, I don't got James with me. So it's just Hernancius here, host of the Business Bros podcast. And we got a little special one. I got Jeffrey Redondo from Invictus Advisors here. And we're going to be talking about what's going to be happening next Thursday on February 25th. We're going to be hosting volume number 2 of FuckUp Nights. And this is where entrepreneurs get together and we talk about different things that have gone wrong in our industry. I wanted to dig a little bit deeper in this episode to tell you guys a little bit more about what this FuckUp Nights things. It's not just some fancy word that we like to throw out there. It's actually something a little bit bigger. So Jeff, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, how's it going, Han?
Good. So tell me a little bit about this whole movement, this thing that's going on. We're about to do volume 2. Volume 1 we'll talk a little bit about how volume 1 went, but tell me just in general, like how you came across it.
Actually it was down, we went to the first FuckUp night Vidal and I went down to the first FuckUp night down in Tijuana, and we checked it out down there, and there was actually a restaurateur that was talking about it. And so we kind of wanted to find out more. So we ended up talking to the people who are the owners behind the concept, and they were actually down in Mexico City. And so we started communication with them, and then we ended up finding out that it's actually a worldwide movement from all over the planet. So they have locations from Mexico, they have ones in India, they have ones in, they have a few here in the US. And so we said, hey, this is a great opportunity that we can bring down here to San Diego. And we've been, our first event was in January, and it was awesome. And so we are continuing it this month.
So it's a global movement. I did a little bit of my own homework. 300, and I think it said 315 or 385. I forgot which number it was. Different chapters around the world. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing is catching fire. It's making its movement. I saw some of the Facebook groups are like in the 70,000s of people that follow along in these Facebook groups. And it's something that I think has a stigma to it, but at the same time, we all step in it all the time. Like that's just part of what we do.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing about it, is that it's funny because I was at another networking event, and they asked for announcements, and I said the word, and everyone's like, oh, everyone kind of gasp. But I think that's the point of it. That's the point of getting people to be shocked about you. Mm-hmm. You always take the word, fuck itself, and you use your own spin to it. But if you just use it in this context and, explain the larger picture and the larger idea of it, then people actually, I think, are attracted to it. People are actually like, oh, I've had some fuck ups. Yeah, I've had some, major failures in my business, and I would love to talk to other people about it.
It's crazy because right now what's really popular, I've noticed when I listen to a lot of different stuff, it's all about this, positive mindset. I'm not saying this thing is a negative mindset, but it's all about, fluffy flowers and think about it and it will happen. And like all these positive vibes, these secret type things, right? Like, if you envision it, it will happen type stuff. And it's all really good and fluffy. And it's great to understand that a positive mindset and a focused mindset will get you in the direction that you want to go in. But the other side of that is always that entrepreneurs, we mess up. Like the only reason why we get to where we get to is because we've had a series of mistakes along the way. Right. And there's times when the mistakes are small and we're just like, oh crap, we messed up. And there's times when the mistakes are like, oh fuck, this thing is, oops, This was a big one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's actually really interesting because one of the speakers that we'll have, we're having 3 speakers on Tuesday. And one of the speakers talks about that. One of the speakers talks about how, they're chugging along in their business and everything's great. And then something happens and they're like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah.
And those are the kind of things where you learn from. And all 3 of these entrepreneurs on Tuesday talk about these stories of them going like, they're all brand new business owners or entrepreneurs. Not brand new in the sense where they haven't been doing business, but at that point in their fuck up, that was their story. They didn't know what to do and how to move forward. And so all three of them come with this story of almost redemption, where they create a business based on their fuck up, or based on the lessons that they learned from that. And it's a pretty amazing thing to hear about. You've had a couple of them on your podcast, and just hearing their stories and hearing them talk about their fuck ups and how they moved through it, it's pretty inspiring.
Oh, it is. It 100%. That's one of the main reasons why I like having guests on the show and telling their stories. I usually want to dig deep into these big fuck ups, the big things that they mess up in their life, because those are the lesson points, right? It's kind of like, I can equate a lot of stuff, and I tend to do it. I equate it to like working out, right? If you just go to the gym and you lift a couple weights and maybe you walk a little bit, you're gonna be okay. It's better than not moving. But if you push your body to the point where the muscles are literally, they're fucking up, they cannot push anymore, that is where the change begins to happen, at the point where it starts to burn. And our businesses operate the same way. We push until we realize, oh man, like I just stepped over it and I'm falling off this cliff. How do I fix it? How do I open this parachute? How do I maybe I don't land so hard. Maybe I roll on side or make some adjustments so I can get back on my feet and keep going. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and so many people get into that mindset of, what do I do? They start grasping for straws, and even the straws that they grab aren't the right ones. Mm-hmm. And then they fuck up even more.
Yeah. And that's absolutely true. Like, they say that, a smart man learns from his mistakes, and we all are going to make mistakes. So we all get smarter. That's part of growing up, right? Where we know a lot more today than we did when we were younger, because we've made mistakes along the way. But a genius learns from the mistakes of others. Right. Yeah. And this is one of those opportunities where, there are a lot of people out there that are very, very successful in what it is that they do. And we don't often get an opportunity to sit down and talk to them, to ask them questions, and to break this one-on-one conversation, to just share those specific situations where they had those huge life lessons. Right. And this is one of those events where we get 3 speakers on there who are successful in their own fields, and yet are here to tell us about the times that they made big struggles, what mistakes they made, so that we can, learn from them, ask them questions, but at the same time, not make the same mistakes, right? We don't want to do the same things that they did if we can avoid the mistake, the pitfall. Why would I want to step in the same hole somebody else stepped in if I knew that it was there?
And that's your story is the perfect example. When you talked about your story at last month's event, how you were almost in financial ruin before you realize something's got to change. And that's what all 3 of these entrepreneurs realized, was they're like, holy crap, like I'm like on the verge of ruin, or I'm not going to be able to survive if I don't change what I'm doing. And whether that goes to business, whether that goes to mindset, whether that goes to personal, to your family, you got to understand that these difficulties that we not have in our lives are actually putting us in a larger position or a larger place where we can actually move forward from it. And I think that's what this event's really about. It's about, leveling people up to their new, it's that whole thought of like the new levels, new devils,
mm-hmm.
And making people realize, oh, you know what? I don't have it so bad. It puts them in a really almost a sense of gratitude, where you like, I don't have to live through this. I can listen to other people and listen to their stories, and being able to learn from them is really what this event's all about.
Well, and the other thing is, we have this assumption that people who are successful don't have problems anymore, right? Like we look up and the grass is always greener on the other side. The people at the top of the mountain are looking down upon us, right? And that only us here at the bottom who are just getting started, we're the only ones who have problems, right? We're the only ones who have cash flow issues. We're the only ones who have tax problems. We're the only ones who have customer problems. We're the only ones that seem to have these problems. But the reality is that every time you do level up, right? New levels, new devils, right? Every time you do level up, there are it's a different kind of problem that happens at the next stage, right? Biggie, mo money, mo problems, right? It's true. Like, it happens at every level. Now you start managing individuals, or maybe you start managing employees, and you have other things that happen. You have, I recently had a sexual harassment suit that happened, and it had nothing to do with me or my employees, but because there's a spin-off of somebody else over here that I'm contracted with. We live in California, we get, that whole, shotgun approach to getting sued, like new levels of problems as you increase in your business. And these are all things that are good to know about.
Yeah. And these are the lessons that these people talk about. And, these are the times where you can go to these people and say, hey, let's create a sense of community. Let's really, that's one of the cool things I think about this movement and about this being a worldwide movement. It's about saying that there's a larger community here, and that you can feel, fucking up is okay.
Yes.
Fucking up is part of the learning process. And that's what I think so amazing about, FuckUp nights, not just here in San Diego, but all over the world, is that everyone has a lot of the same issues and a lot of the same problems. And when you go to other FuckUp nights, you see that,
Yeah, well, and that's just on the speaker side of it. Hey, Vidal, speaking of fuck-ups, right?
And yes, and I'm gonna just barge in here. Hello to everyone, and watching this live podcast. It's interesting because I've read some of the emails and some of the responses as to, what, I can't participate in an event or a networking event that's called FuckUp nights because it doesn't go with my public. Dude, come on. The word fuck, it just gives you, it's the meaning is whatever you give it to it.
Mm-hmm.
You can say fuck in a demeanor way, in a good way, in the way that you interpret the word. It's your own meaning. It's your own belief.
Absolutely.
On, really.
I'll give you a spin on that. So lately, if you guys have checked out our Instagram at Business Bros Pod, we've been promoting the fuck up nights, right?
Yeah.
The events that we've had the last couple of days. It's the views on those and the likes on those are way more dramatic than the other ones that we've posted in the last week. To the point where I have students in my class that have come up to me and asked, wait a minute, what was that biggest fuck up? But tell me, like, I want to know a little more, because the dramatic effect that word has, people kind of, it's almost magnetic. It's like a car crash. I want to see what's going on, right? I need to understand what happened. And that's the magic of what we do at these events is it is drawing attention. We need to understand that making a mistake is 100% okay. As a matter of fact, if you're not making mistakes, you're not growing. You're not trying to grow your business.
You're in the same place. And come on, life, it's not kumbaya. Everything is pink. Everything is perfect. Everything is going to be fine. If something goes wrong, oh my God, I have so much bad luck, God's punishing me. Dude, it's not. It is not. That's not what it is. Life, it's made of fuck-ups. Everything, we have different fuck-ups every single day. But not because we fuck up in the morning, the rest of your day is going to be shitty.
Nope. Modify, adapt, and recenter.
Hell yeah.
And that was just the speaker portion, right? The other side of Fuck Up Nights is all the people that show up, as guests. It's a networking event first and foremost. There are so many people in so many different industries. They're there, they want to hear about what's going on. They want to learn from that, and all those things that we talked about are definitely important. But the value that you get from shaking hands with somebody, from saying hello, from asking questions and getting to know these people. I made some great connections on the last Fuck Up night. Big Mike was there, right? We made some good connections. I mean, and I met Charlie. Charlie's going to be on the show tomorrow, right? I mean, there's all kinds of different things that you can do when you meet people in person. It's not so much just the fact that I was a speaker and I was able to give, what my story was. It was reciprocated. It was people who were there sharing their information with you.
And I hope that whoever joins us next week at the event, instead of asking, how can I help you? Or what is it that you do? Or things like that, ask them, what's your biggest fuck up?
Yeah.
Because it's an open door. It's an invitation to talk about wherever you messed up. Like, you know what, I took or I utilized this application for this thing, it didn't work. Or I thought that my marketing company was working, it's not working. I don't feel it's working. Things like that, because everything that goes not according to plan, or everything that you think it's messed up, it's a learning experience. And ask about that. Share your information, share your experiences. Oh, bad experiences are great.
That talks about, it goes back to that sense of community. It says that I'm not the only one that fucked up, or I'm not the only one that has failure, or I'm not the only one that has struggled with this issue or that issue, or, you talk about the networking, and it's really amazing when you start walking around talking to people at the event where they're all from. My biggest takeaway from last event was there was a guy that drove down from Irvine checking out the events, and he was telling me that he has a friend that's in Mumbai, India, and they were having a fuck up night the next day.
So you had to go check it out. Yeah.
Go check it out. So it's creating that network of people that, understand what you've been through, understand the difficulties that you've had, figuring out new ways of moving forward. And that's I think what's the great thing about this event, the networking piece, and connecting with people.
It's being around like-minded people, right? Everybody in that room is trying to accomplish something that they care about, that they're passionate about, some dream that they had, whatever it is. We're all there trying to do the same type of thing. I like how you said it was like a free space to go ahead and ask, what was your biggest fuck up? Because this is the spot where it happens. If I were to take that even to my own home, right? If I told my wife, this is where I fucked up, I get a completely different judgment because she's not in the space that I'm in, right? Yeah. And it's not because she doesn't like it or anything. She's coming from a place of love. She wants to protect me, right? Okay. But I don't get the same vibe or the same opinion or the same mindset because they're not in the space. Everybody that goes to that event, at that networking event, is in the same space. Some of them might be in the midst of their fuck up and they're looking for help on their way out. Some people are, are doing much better and just want to share their story. There's all kinds of different, ups and downs that people are going through at those events.
Yeah, and I think that's what's the cool thing. There's every different spectrum there too. Like you just said, there's everyone that's, just starting their entrepreneurial journey. There's people that are like dipping their toes into the, do I really want to be an entrepreneur? There's people that think they're entrepreneurs that aren't. Mm-hmm. There's people that are, that are business owners that have six, 7-figure businesses. So there's such a wide variety of different people. You do really learn from everyone there.
100%. So tell me a little bit about the event is going to be on February 25th on Thursday, right?
Tuesday.
On Tuesday. I'm sorry, Tuesday. I said the right date, right? It was the 25th. Yeah, it's the 25th, but 25th is a Tuesday. Yeah. All right, so it's the 25th on Tuesday. What time? Where's it at? Where can we get tickets?
So if you, I will have Hernan drop the link down in the Facebook post. But you can actually visit FuckUpNights.com//San Diego, and that's our website. You guys can actually buy tickets on right online. But it's actually going to be this Tuesday, February 25th at 6:00 at Downtown Works. And what's actually interesting about this co-working space is they're actually was really receptive to it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the people that we're talking to at these other, because we're having one every month. We had one in January. We're having one this month in February, and we're having another one in March that's already planned. So you can buy your tickets if you want to buy your ticket for that one, you can. But all the, the co-working spaces have been pretty open and receptive to it. And part of it, I think, is because it's something different. It's something different for their people, and it really drives that sense of community.
It's at the WeWork building, right, in downtown?
Downtown Works.
Oh, Downtown Works. That's the name of the building?
It's okay. It's 550 West B Street.
Okay, 550 West B.
So and then I just want to thank you guys for helping getting out the word. Downtown Works is also a sponsor. Victus Advisors, our accounting firm, is also a sponsor. And we actually had someone donate some wine. So Navito Winery is actually donating some wine. So it's actually going to be a really great event.
So we want everybody to come out, come check it out. Come, at least, maybe, you're not 100% comfortable with normal networking. It might be because you feel like you have to step up your game, or, you're amongst all kinds of successful people. This is the one that you want to go to because everybody's set the bar low. This is where we can come in and we can just be as vulnerable as you possibly can. If you're just getting started, this is exactly where you want to be. You want to hear people's mistakes. If you're already, leveled up, I encourage you guys to come out and share with people who are at this event and share those mishaps. We want to know what's going on.
And what's cool about this is, that's talking about leveling up. If you're, one of the things that Vidal has talked about on one of our Facebook Lives is about, or I think you talked about this too, is about your net worth is worth the 5 people around you.
Yeah, your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah. And so if you go to this event, you might find other people that you can help, that you can either, they can be a mentor to you, or you can be a mentor to them, or you can give them, different, ideas and thoughts about how, difficult it was for you, and about how you can actually, how you will get through it. So, like I said, the best part of actually the entire event is that Hernan's actually going to be emceeing.
I get to stand in front and smile and introduce people. That's the fun part.
Yeah. So, yeah, it should be a really good event. So we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be on Tuesday night, February 25th, 6 p.m. at Downtown Works. So make sure you guys get tickets. I'm going to drop it in the Facebook link. It'll be after I close this down because I don't have James with me. Normally he would just already have done it. Click, 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 done.
Yeah, James, the IT guy.
Oh, totally. Like yesterday, for example, since our guest couldn't make it, James had an event that he was going to. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a show a little bit different. So I did one on the equipment thing.
Oh, yeah.
And since I didn't sit down to put the headphones, I didn't even know that I didn't flip the switch on for the microphone until towards the end. At the end of the show, I literally said something like, I know we make it look easy. All we got to do is flip a switch. And I looked and I was like, oh shit, I didn't flip a switch.
I actually commented because I was like, I was like, we can't hear you. And
yeah, I saw those.
Some people commented.
I saw those. So there was one fuck up, right? And I was telling my wife, I go, look at that. I'm talking about the equipment we use, how easy we try to make it look, and boom, 400 episodes in, and I still forget to flip the switch on.
That's the point. That's the point of a night. It's about being able to share those stories and about being able to celebrate that story and being able to talk to people about it. Even with the organizers down in Mexico City, we were having some stuff and they're like, oh, by the way, we had a fuck up, and they explained it, and we're like, okay, cool. It's like, it's like it happens, It
happens all the time. And believe it or not, these are the hooks, right? These are the things that grab people's attention. Like I said, the fuck up when you're driving down the freeway causes an accident. We all look. You're looking at TikTok and we're looking for that one that falls on their face or, whatever it is. It's those memorable events. We all are human, right? We try to be as awesome as we possibly can, dressed perfectly, walk in a perfect straight line. But every once in a while we get a wrinkle or we trip and we fall. And those are the things that we learn from, right? Those are the biggest memorable events in our lives.
And it's actually funny because when you think about it, like, even in the news media nowadays, it's like none of the all the great things that people are doing around the planet get coverage, but all the massive fuck ups that people do, or the things that people say, or however they act, that's all the fuck ups.
So in other words, you're saying they can censor the word, but the emotion behind it and the lessons behind it, they will
always be there. Yeah.
All right. Well, see you on Tuesday, my friend.
Thank you so much, Arnon.
Downtown Works. Make sure you guys grab your tickets. I'm going to drop the link here in a little bit. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace. And we're out.
Bye.